Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Wild and Wingless. Today I got myself the AWSR newly elected president, as well as the newly appointed national tech rep, Peter Granger and Sean Fitzpatrick. Guys, how are you?
Very good.
Great, thank you. Thanks for having us.
No worries. So I've never done a three-way before, but I've gone big and brought in.
I just rephrase that.
I've gone big and I've gone two massive people from the AWSR. So, guys, yeah, thank you very much for coming in. Now, look, there was a few things that we've spoken about, which has been obviously a lot of things have happened behind the scenes in AWSR, and this was a really good time for you guys at the start of the season to get together, come on, and we have a chat about a few things. So, I can't wait to hear what we've got to talk about. We've got a few topics already, so obviously I'm going to hand over to Peter for a bit of an introduction on yourself and where the AWSR is at the moment.
No worries. The first thing I'd like to do, I'd like to thank Scott for his contribution over the last 6 years and everything that he's done. So, and of course, I've stepped into the role now. And so I've been around racing in general all my life. My mum and dad were heavily involved when I was a very young kid. And Wingless, I've been involved for the last 12 years. So, so from racing and over the last, I suppose, 2 years, I've progressed into the admin side of the AWSR. I previously was vice president for New South Wales a few years ago. But, now I love Wingless racing, and that's why I've continued and now stepped into the role I have.
Yep. And so now you've gone from VP for the last, how many years were you VP?
1 year.
1 year. And then you've stepped up to president now. Sean Fitzpatrick, going from a president of the Victorian Wingless Club, which is a very successful club. Now you've put your hand up to run with the big boys in the Nationals. So.
Yeah, that's right. Been around racing all my life as well. Dad raced back in the day, back in the 80s, sedans, and him and Gary got into Wingless about 2016, I think. I was still in Queensland at the time, come back to Victoria and got involved, of course, and fell in love with it and got on the committee and worked my way up from there, I suppose. It's been a good time, yeah.
Nice. All right, so who else, what other faces do we see on the AWSR committee for this season?
You've got, of course, Daryl Sloan.
Yep.
He's been there for forever. I'm not sure how long he's actually been there, but Daryl does an exceptional job.
He does.
And without him, we'd be not lost, but we wouldn't be far from it. You know, he does an exceptional amount of work. And, and then we've got Rebecca.
Yep.
She's our treasurer. So she's been there. This is her second year now.
Yep.
And, of course, we've got Scott. He's in the interim role of vice president. So because I only did 12 months, so to try and get someone else in there at this stage was you had to go through a whole process. So it was easier for, the executives agreed, and it's in the constitution that we can put an interim person in that role, and that's where Scott is in there as an interim role. But he has so much knowledge in the background as well. So I've been talking to him about stuff as well. So just to confirm things, like, stepping into a role like this, you don't want to try and make any mistakes up front. Yep. So it's pretty good to have him as a sounding board, and we get along really well.
Okay. No, that's good, yes. And I did acknowledge him stepping down from the president role, but hanging on, and he's done a lot for our sport, a lot for our division. And then you've got some fresh faces in the AWSR committee, lower down with the state reps and that sort of thing. A lot of good people. So the AWSR is in good hands, which is good to know.
Yeah, it was good. At the AGM, we've got new, like you said, state delegates and stuff like that. So there's a state delegate from each state, but we also had some other observers there, and one of them was Travis Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And it was good to have him there. He had input from a high-end driver's input, which was good. I think it was an eye-opener for him as well, what actually goes on with the AWSR. It's, we put a lot of effort into what we got to do and a lot of time. So, and there was other observers there as well, which, all have input, and it was great.
Yeah, nice. All right, well let's kick this off with a very touchy subject, and I'm glad you're keeping those beverages up while you're up in the warm part of Townsville there, Granger. That's good. Yes.
Thunderbird, ginger beer.
Nice. Okay, engine of the future. What's where are we at with that? What's happening with that?
Yeah, so we had a committee that was formed last year.
Yep.
And we've put a lot of effort into that. So there's been a lot of things we've been looking at. We had a look at what we could do as possibly replacement engines, but we have to work in with the SCCA and also Speedway Australia. There's a lot of in the background that's got to be covered by insurance and all that sort of stuff, because at the end of the day, it's safety for our drivers is the main goal. So we looked at that. We looked at the costs in potential replacement engines and how that will affect not just our competitors, but there's a lot of people out there also putting parts and everything else available for these engines. Some, bits and pieces are all manufactured. So we had to look at those aspects. We looked at the timing cover, which is our biggest issue because we just cannot buy new timing covers. So is what we've done a lot of research with that. We've got some companies that are going to mill out where the oil pump goes, and there'll be like a bronze insert that'll go in there. So with that, we don't want to just do it and give it to someone to go and put in their engine and destroy an engine. So we've actually allocated some money to build an engine and test these things before we give them out to our members. Because the last thing we want is someone to blow up an engine and then, they go crazy at us and stuff like that. So we've got that to be done. The other aspects of the V6 engine is we're also going to test a camshaft to go into it.
Right.
So now what sort of grind and stuff like that it'll be will determine, but it's potentially more horsepower, or not potentially, it will give more horsepower. And a lot of our members are after that sort of stuff, a little bit more. And that will conform still within what criteria we've got as far as the engine and everything else from the insurance and stuff perspective. So in that side of it, we've allocated a lump sum fund for the engine program. So that will include dyno and everything. So we want to make sure this works properly. So when we do give it out to our competitors, we'll give them a time frame of what will come in. It'll actually be tested and we'll have reliability and everything else with parts and all that sort of stuff. So that's sort of the engine of the future program. Now, for all the ones that were talking about V8s, we did look at V8s.
Yep.
Okay. We looked at the crate engine, the CT350.
Yes.
Now, they were a cast iron head. We also looked at this, the 604, which had an alloy heads on it. And they're all based around the 350 horsepower. We also looked at the 525, CT525. Costs on those were, because you have all bolt-ons and everything else that's got to go with it. So with the CT350, the costs were in somewhere in the frame of a minimum of $18,500 to $19,000. That's with all the bolt-ons to go on it. The 604 was in the range of $20,000. Now the CT525, which is a lot of the noise is all about, they are around $30,000 as a minimum, because everyone was talking about how we could go and run the CT525 and be as like the well, they were called pro sprints, but the sprint cars, and then take the wing off and go to what we could have possibly ran. The only problem with that is the initial costs for our members to put in.
Yeah.
But our engines would be sealed as a crate engine as it came. The sprint cars are allowed to do different modifications. So they couldn't just take the wings off and come back with fronts. It's just not possible because their rules are more open than what we would have been. But the biggest issue is we spoke to about the injection system to try and get that back to a horsepower rating that we could have possibly ran is unachievable. So to run those motors, the horsepower is a lot of, it just won't work.
Yeah.
So that's why we've decided to stick with the current engine. And we'll also, I know a lot of people don't like this word, but the Ecotech,
Yep.
we will test that alongside our current engine once it has new camshaft in it, to see what disparities are there, and look at maybe bringing the Ecotech in alongside our current engine.
Yep.
But it's all part of this dyno testing and everything else we're going to do. So that's where we're at with that. But nothing's going to happen until we have parity.
No,
That's the biggest thing.
mate, I'm a fan of it. Just the fact that since I've been doing this show, which I've cracked over a year now, doing this and trying to spread the love for wingless racing, in that year, talking with you, talking with Sean, having phone calls at the track, so forth, just you guys being proactive. And I'm not trying to be nasty on anybody. Just I think right now we've got the right people in there. Not saying we didn't have before, just people that got strengths and weaknesses. I think as a whole, AWSR have got the right people in there to get this happening, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm very excited. So yeah, thanks very much for all the work you guys have been doing.
Pete's saying. The funds have been allocated, an engine has been bought. Like stuff is happening. We've got quotes from engineering places to fix the timing covers. It's amazing how far we've come with this little program. So it's pretty exciting to see where it's going to end up. But yeah, stuff is actually happening. Yeah.
No, I can feel it. Well done, guys. All right, let's move across to a topic which Sean, you know quite well about, and that's the whistle testing and tagging. So there's been a change for this season. Can you explain where we're going?
I guess a quick background. The whistle testing rule was pretty basic. It's been around for a long time. Of course, it's sort of one of those foundation rules that we follow, and very important. The 60th piston came in a couple of years ago, and that was great. However, then we found that the whistle tester, or the way we set the whistle tester up traditionally, allowed engines to essentially be bigger or have higher compression than what we really wanted. So therefore, the rule needed a rewrite. Also, there was machines, and there's a new machine out. There's two machines that we've been using. The rule book really only mentioned one of those machines. Hence, the rule has been expanded to encompass all these issues. So really for the racer, for the driver, not much has really changed. The engines are still the same spec, but now we can use all the machines to check those engines, and we have a process in place so that the scrutineer can set up the machine to suit the engine if required. So it's a lot better way of testing, and we'll keep that parity that we always enjoy in our sport. And then there's the dual tagging issue as well. It sort of come to light a couple of years ago that heads could be pulled off if there was only one seal fitted. So therefore, we've had to implement a dual sealing system, and it will come in over the year. It needs to be done for your national and state titles, basically, and there is a date in the rule. I think it's the end of March that they all have to be done by. So it gives us plenty of time to get them done.
Right. Well, that again only just brings in our parity across the field for all our competitors. So
correct. So just to clarify what Sean said, if you want to race in a state title, you must be dual sealed on both sides of the intake.
Yep. So
if you want to go to a title, make sure that you're done in plenty of time.
All right. Can I just throw my hand up and ask a silly question? So let's say I've got my dual seals. I go from one state to another. I'm going pretty good. I finish up there. There's no more reasons to. Well, no, they can still pull down your motor. Yeah.
So is what happens from there for a state title perspective?
Yep.
The top 5 will go to a compound area.
Yep.
So is what happens, the top 3 will get checked. So they'll get a Kanban test and everything else done. They pass that, they will get sealed on the timing cover, as well as from rocker cover to those tags on the intake.
Yep.
So you can't pull your engines apart again like that. the 4th and 5th place, if they hang around, they won't have to get tagged. But if they decide they want to go because they've got to get home or whatever it is, we will seal their cars before they leave the track in case 1st, 2nd or 3rd fail.
Yep. So,
right?
Yep.
So once 1st, 2nd and 3rd pass, then those tags will get cut off 4th and 5th, and the tech guys will mail those back to Sean or Daryl, and those numbers will then get recorded that they'll cut off. So all seal numbers will be recorded. So we know exactly what numbers are on what cars and stuff like that.
Okay. So let's say I've gone through a state title. I guess what I'm asking is, and we had an issue a few years back where someone was tagged and they were asked to be checked again. Once you get that tag and checked, are you going to keep having to pull down your motor every time if you're a lucky boy or girl who gets top 3 in state titles? Is there going to be such thing as like a golden tag? So once that's on, AWSR are aware that the Kanban check is passed. They've done all the checks on that motor from a previous result. They've put these set of tags on, so that person can just go to every race knowing full well after the racing, as long as those, I'm using golden tags as a expression, but as long as those golden tags are there, yep, cool. The motor we know is right. We just check over your car and then we pass you. Or are you guys going to go through the whole process every state title?
No.
Okay.
If they're tagged from Sean's Victorian state title and go to New South Wales state title and finish in the top 3, they're done.
That's good enough. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
No, just wanted to
correct,
clarify.
yeah.
That's all.
We're working on a process as well where people can be checked and tagged before or away from a state title.
Yep.
And then that way they're good to go. They won't need rechecking at the title.
Nice.
As long as the paperwork's all in order and everything lines up,
Yeah.
there's no reason for retesting.
Because I think that's one of the things, like you go to these bigger races and come the end of the night, you've got people who are excited who want to go celebrate, and you've got other people who, because we are a volunteer sport, yeah? So a lot of our guys who are doing these checks have got invested interest in other cars that may not have had a good night. They might just want to hope and hit the road and head home, but yet they've got to do these tests. Well, I'm just asking that. Can we speed up the process? And it sounds like logic's come forward, so that's good. Yeah, all right, cool. No, well, I've always found what you guys done, especially you, Sean. You've tested my engines before, and no problems there. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we'll try to make it simpler. Is definitely part of the deal going forward. Yeah.
All right, let's throw another curveball in.
The only engines that will get pulled down will be from a national title,
and that's irrespective of what you got on, which is fair enough.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's throw another curveball. Tires. So there's a bit of a confusion at the moment with what we're doing with tyres. So,
sorry, can I just go back? Really?
Yeah, go.
So if you get sealed this year at a state title, they will stay on for next season as well.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yep. So they won't get cut off at the end of the season. So until you rebuild your engine, those seals will stay on it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good to know. That means, less worrying for all the competitors going into daylighting or anything like that for the future. Okay. Tyres. What's there's a bit of confusion at the moment with tyres. Obviously, sprint cars have changed their compound and all the rest, and we've had a flow-on effect. So where are we sitting with that?
Again, so sprint cars have moved to a slightly harder compound, and we've come up with a rule that brings in those compounds to our world softly. So basically, the original compounds can be used at all your club shows. Nothing really changes there at all. And then at the state and national titles, those harder compounds must be used. And that's simply because if you got people traveling from interstate or they can't get the softer compound tyres, it's just to keep it fair at those state titles for everyone involved. And then the clubs can mandate the harder tyre if they choose. So, for example, at SummerSlam, not that Victoria's made this decision yet, but an event like SummerSlam, we will mandate the harder tyres, and that will keep it nice and fair for everyone. There still should be plenty of opportunity to burn off those softer tyres, and then the harder tyres get used at those blue ribbon events that everyone's trying to win. So.
Okay.
That's basically the gist of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have up until okay. So, well, that's good. At least hopefully I get the heads up about what's happening at SummerSlam. I can't wait to SummerSlam for this season. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, like New South Wales, they tell us that they struggle for the WAVs and SD38s to find them. Hence, I dare say they could well mandate the harder tyre for all their events, and that's well within the rules. But Victoria, South Australia, they've got plenty of SD38s and WAVs around still. So, yeah, they'll probably still run those at the club shows.
I also have a nice collection of brand new WAVs, so I hope we can get them used before they go. All right. Tire inflators. That's also been a topic.
Yeah. That's right. So a couple of years ago, well, I think they've been around for a couple of years, and only been in or known about in Australia the last year or so. Are these tire inflators? They're called the Willy Willy tire inflator. I believe there are other options out there. However, at the end of the day, the Willy Willy's probably $2,500 to buy, and you've got to bolt that to a Swindell bleeder, which is another couple of $1,000 to buy. So, yeah, having a sort of a $5,000 tire monitoring system on your car is just not something that we need. The SCCA have allowed it in their world, but in the AWSR we've outlawed them. So they're don't bother.
Just a question for someone who doesn't know: are these easy to spot?
To be honest, I'm not sure because they are hitting up the axle.
Right.
Much like the Swindell, they bolt it to the back of the Swindell and up the axle they go. Yeah, I'm not sure if you can hear them running or not because they just constantly supply 9 psi, and then the Swindell bleeder controls the pressure from there.
Right.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I've never seen one in person. I've only seen photographs. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
that is something we'll check at state titles and stuff like that.
That's what I was going to say. I could just picture right now already. We already see the officials walking through the traffic, through the pits. The dummy grid to have a quick look at your tyres. And I'm sure this might be something. If you've got a wheel cover on, whatever it is, you might have to have a crew guy there standing there with a screwdriver, to remove your cover just to show what you've got in there and it's back on. So, but whatever we do to keep the playing field fair and even, that's good. I like to see us moving forward and keeping it cost effective. $5,000, geez, that's big. Oh God.
Yeah, that's right.
Any blue ribbon event and stuff like that, we can call cars of scales. Like say a top 5, we can call randoms in and stuff like that. So once they come through there, we can do checks for that different style of things. It's just not those. There's all sorts of stuff coming on the market now. We've got to try and keep an eye out and make sure things don't come in. And it's about keeping it cost effective.
Absolutely.
As much as we can.
Yep. No, I agree. I think, as I've said already, everything you guys are doing, everything that's going on in AWSR, we're heading in the right direction. That's why our numbers are growing. Now, this is something that's a sore point for me, or a touchy point for me, is the sun visor. So, let's get some clarification.
Been a source of conjecture over the last few years. We did try to bring this rule in last year. It wasn't quite written right and presented to SCCA properly. So Jimmy from Sydney, Jimmy Hordowich, he came up with the idea that we just have a removable sun visor on the right-hand side. And that basically solves the issues that we have. So the original rule was basically 10 inches of vertical gap.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to run it at 8 inches. The reason it's at, or SCCA like it at 10 inches is to give crash crew access. So the rule now is that it can be 8 inches, but it must be removable by hand. So typically you'd probably just use winged Zeus's, and then that way the crash crew can click them off and get access to you if needed.
Yep.
So it's great that rule's in. Should stop some rocks to the neck and head and whatnot, and the sun in your eyes. So it's great.
Yeah. No.
So we actually presented it as a safety issue as well.
Then that was my whole argument every time I went through inspection. It was it was. I can't remember which race I was at, but I had a person who used to sort of give me a bit of grief until they walked up to me, and it was a nice sunny day, and they said, "Mate, I now know why you've been putting those things on." And more so, it was the sun in the afternoon, but some of these tracks. I love all our tracks we head to. I appreciate them giving us the time to race there, but those rocks, man, they're just getting bigger and bigger, and those helmets are copping it, bodies copping it. So I'm glad, we got that across the line. Thank you very much. Well done, but yeah, appreciate that. All right, let's talk about some stuff coming up for this season.
Yeah, I guess some people might have seen we've started the Facebook site, which is the members only site, technical information, and I guess it'll be used for anything that the members need to know. There's already a few things up there. Have a search for it, and jump on if you're a member. And looking forward to loading up much more information as the weeks go by, and just a different way to present the information to the members so that we are all on the same page. So there's no arguments when we get to the track, is what it's all about. Happy to take phone calls, but at the end of the day, if one person rings me, I feel like there's probably 10 more that are probably wondering the same question.
Yep.
Therefore, it's just a different way to do it, and hopefully should be better for the future.
So along with that is on the portal where you go in and do your membership and all that sort of stuff, and you can see the nominations. So that will also have, it's called a widget or whatever they call them, that'll have like a button or something on there, and it'll be technical information, or any information will also go on that. Yep. So the idea of it going onto there in the background, they should email the competitors or the members that there's something gone into that system of rules or notifications, similar to what Sean is putting on the Facebook page. So there's going to be two avenues of the information going out. So it'll go out, it'll trigger an email to tell you that it's there, and there's also the Facebook side of it. So that way we're getting information to our members, because that was a big one that people were saying that they're not getting information and all this sort of stuff. So we're hitting it as hard as we can. So it'll still go out through to the state clubs. So there's 3 forms of this messaging going out. So the drivers, the owners, can't say they're not getting information.
Yeah.
We're going to flood them with the ways that they can get the information. So that's those ways. Don't confuse the page for AWSR as far as promotion and that. That's that page. And the other page is your tech page.
Yep.
So 2 different avenues.
So this is going to be a very good thing for what you guys are doing. For example, the Australian title that we had at Mildura, 110 competitors, a lot of information to go out, or even if you talk the WOW series that happened, a lot of information to go out across the members. And this is a centralized way. Facebook is an app on our phone. Everyone can get to it, and you can jump on it. You can see what you want to see. So it's going to be something, I feel, hats off to you guys. I think you've kicked another goal there. I think it's going to be a very good thing moving forward as far as transparency between AWSR and all the members. Excellent to see that finally we're getting technology on our side and we're using it for the best. So.
Yeah, we've got different aspects of the technology we're trying to bring in, but we're trying to bring them in without a major cost also.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to, there's costs involved with everything. So if we can simplify it and get the information out, that's the objective. So at this stage, that's the process we're going down. If anyone has any ideas, feel free to let us know, or if they have contacts and they can build something, do something, or whatever it may be, please step out and contact us. This is their club. So, if you want to help, by all means help.
Yeah, no, that's one thing I've always said about you, Pete, and you're very approachable, and Sean, both is very approachable people. A lot of people, everyone on this committee for AWSR is all very approachable people, so there should be no problems with people reaching out, or if they've got an issue, I don't want to hear it from hearsay at a racetrack behind trailers. Just come out openly, and because 9 times out of 10 it's not a problem. Once it's out there, it's just simply a you've misread something, or the good old Chinese whispers have sent you off a wrong path. So it's good what you guys are doing.
At the AGM, we spoke about social media in general for AWSR. Wild&Wingless has obviously done a lot for us over the years, done a fantastic job. He's pretty busy these days, so we are looking for people who would like to come on board with us. So contact us, and we'll see what we can work out. Different ways of doing social media. It's certainly not something I'm very good at. So yeah, it's definitely a skill that that's great to have, and those people are invited to come chat to us to see what they can do.
Nice.
Yeah, we're still in discussions with Wade
Yep.
and stuff. Like Sean said, he's very busy, so we've got to try and fit in around all his things and stuff like that. So, you know, he's made it known to us that he can't do it all. So, you know, yeah, like Sean said, anyone interested, please reach out, and then we can build something and look at something for the future.
No, nice. All right, so the big event coming up this year is going to be the Australian title over in Perth, Motorplex.
Definitely.
What are your thoughts moving forward on this event?
Well, just before the Australian title, so people have also asked about the WOW series.
Yep.
So the WOW series was completed last year. The people who were involved in that, no one's progressed through for this year. So no one reached out and said that they wanted to continue it at this stage. So we were sort of left with to try and do something with it pretty quick, and we didn't want to do that, because if you try and do something pretty quick, it doesn't work. So, but with the Australian title being in Perth and the distances and the cost of getting there, we haven't revived the WOW series for this year. So with those two things in place, we will look at we are looking at forming a committee. So if anyone's interested in joining a committee for the WOW or a series, please reach out to us, and we can form a committee to do it.
Yep.
So if you're interested, reach out and we can see what we can do. That'll be for next season, not this coming season.
Yeah.
So now to the Australian title.
Yep.
Mate, what a fantastic event to go across to the Plex. That's a bucket list event for anyone that's got a race car and everything to go and race over there. I'm traveling around. I tried to get over there last season, but I couldn't get the car there, and I was there, and now I'm up here in North Queensland, but I'm going to try and be back there for the Australian title over in that area, probably even a bit before. If you haven't been to the Plex, what a venue.
Yeah.
Like drag strip on the backside over here, speedway there. There's a bar down the end there if you want to go down and watch racing from down there and sit down and drink. There's food everywhere, great grandstands. If you want to go and get a corporate box, but the pit area, the tech sheds,
incredible.
The complex is amazing.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I've spoken to a few drivers, and I think I don't think we'll see 110 cars, but in what we'll lack in the numbers side, the quantity, I believe you'll make up in the quality, because the people I'm hearing going over there is we're going to have some massive heavy hitters. It's going to be a good, it's going to be a good Australian title. And then to find out that we've got our current Australian champion who's going to do his tour of Australia, which I think is fantastic. I think that's going to raise the bar for wingless racing in general across this country. There's a lot of things to watch out for this season, even though, as you said, we don't have the WOW series, but geez, I'll tell you what, we've still got some exciting things going on in our division. So
yeah, well, they're putting on some other marquee events around the Australian title.
Yep,
so
speed weeks.
There, you've got like a week and a half of racing or whatever it's going to be.
Yep.
So if you make the trip for the Australian title, you'll stay and do all the other stuff as well. So they've put together a pretty good calendar. So can't wait to get over and see what happens and stuff like that. So you could potentially go across there. If you do all right, walk away with some money. So
yeah, make that trip nice.
Yeah, that's right. It is a long way. It is expensive, and it's just hard. But that's part of the racing, isn't it? It doesn't matter where you go. It's expensive to get to places. So, but just touching on what you said about Tyson doing his trip around Australia to go and run at all the state titles, man, what an effort!
Yeah,
that's a credit to him, and yeah, for him to go and travel to every state title. Imagine if he wins every state title.
Yep.
In the year that he's got an Australian title.
Yep.
Man, that would be something else. Even if he finishes in the top 3, that'd be amazing. But this is the challenge, and I love what he's put out there. If you couldn't make it to the Australian title to beat him, he's coming to your home state, to your territory, to your opportunity to beat him.
Yep.
Right. So if you can beat him, you would then think, maybe I should have gone down to that Australian title.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
So when that Australian title comes around to your stake next time, instead of not going to an Australian title, you'll go, man, I can do this.
Yep.
So we might, and even if you finish behind him, you know, say if he finishes 5th and you finish 6th, you're going to say, man, I should have been there. So I think what he's doing is going to help elevate our races in our division.
Yep. To
understand how competitive they actually are.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the benchmark he's going to do.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Can't wait to see.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, before I let you guys go, and I do appreciate you giving me your time, is anyone you guys want to acknowledge for for those who help keep AWSR going? And
yeah, just before that one, there is another event that's going to be on in New South Wales.
Oh, sugar! I was meant to bring this up to you too because I don't qualify for this, but you do.
Yep.
Sean doesn't either. He's a young boy.
So it was something that I raised and I spoke to Andrew Siri about.
Yep.
Is a oldies race. So it's sort of like a Masters things for the races.
Yep.
So if you're over 50, there's an event that's going to be at Dubbo. I think it's June 9, maybe, or maybe somewhere around about then. So poor old dog's getting attacked in the background. So yeah, I will confirm that date.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if I've got it here.
I forgot.
Yeah.
But it's so an over 50s race meeting. So anyone that's over 50, keep an eye out for that date. And the idea is to get us. We're not has-beens by any means.
No, look at Mark Blight, and he's still winning.
It's going to be full on. There's some pretty serious races over 50. This is going to be some.
I made the call. I said, "Who's?"
It's going to be full on. Like,
who's LFA going to put in the car? And then someone turned around and said,
Gavin.
Gav. I went, Gav. There we go.
50. Yeah.
So LFA is going to represent.
Peter
Logue.
Serious races that are over 50.
Absolutely.
That are probably going to go this slow. It's going to be.
I even heard Freddie Walsh's name thrown in there.
Yep.
Well,
I'll have my car registered and I'll go and plod all around there as well. So. We can't miss that. So, it started off just as a conversation. I said, why don't we just have some there's a Masters event for hockey, cricket, football, everything else. So we're not any different.
No.
So let's get us out there and do it. And it's going to give the old guys a chance to sit around and have a beer afterwards and have a laugh and a giggle, we hope, and talk about stories from the past as well. You know what I mean? So... And then, so that'll be fun.
No, well, I will be talking about that very shortly, more and more. But that event, I can't wait to be. I'll be there and as a try and be as a volunteer official capacity to help the old guys have a crack and have a race. So, I look forward to that. But thanks very much for
the Mildura race.
Yeah.
So which is big prize money and 10,000 to win. So that's another big event we got going on.
Yep, got someone from that track going to be coming on shortly to give us the rundown of everything like that. After speaking with them just recently, so can't wait for that. It's going to be huge. Yep. Yes.
And we just had the Thunder and the Cane Fields up there.
Thunder and the Cane Fields. Nice.
So that next year has gone from $10,000 prize money to $20,000 prize money for next year, and that'll be a minimum. So they try and even race more than that. So so that was a great event. 4 nights, 4 different tracks. Oh. Same track, but 4 different surfaces to race on, basically. It was prepared different. It was awesome. Plenty to happen.
No, love it. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I think Victoria, they kick off very shortly with their Avalon 50. Someone told me, is that because of 50 years?
Lapper coming up to break the season, the old icebreaker. I was talking to Andrew Siri there earlier today, and he reckons there's quite a lot of New South Wales guys keen on that. So that'll be really cool. To get a heap of cars there for 50 lapper, that'll be great.
Yep, and then
Victoria's got the good old Summer Slam, of course, 3 nights booked in. That's all go as usual, which is great. Looking forward to that Mildura race. Should be a great season. Yeah,
it's going to be good. So we'll go back to acknowledgement for all the people who make AWSR happen, because as much as you two lovely people, it's many more as well.
So I'd like to thank Scott, of course, for his previous sign. I'd like to thank Darryl for his tireless work that he does. He does so much in the background. Rebecca for his treasurer. Sean is the tech guy. Also, I'd like to thank our state delegates and everyone that come and have a lot more input now. Also, anyone from our state clubs and in executive roles, and all our tech guys and our stewards and stuff like that. Without them, we can't go racing and do it. So I'd like to thank all those guys for their tireless effort that they give up. It's all for free. No one gets paid for it. So I'd like to thank them. I'd like to thank the people also who are selling parts, making parts, getting stuff done, you know. I understand it's a business for them, but without them providing it, we can't get this merchandise and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'd like to thank all them. So, Sean, anyone else?
Yeah, Daryl, our secretary, national secretary, the work he does is phenomenal. If you need to know something, usually Daryl already knows, and it's great to have him with us. And yeah, all the tech guys, we're having meetings and whatnot already. So yeah, it's pretty cool how this whole world moves forward with everyone, on that same path.
No, love it. Well, look, guys, what I got to do is I'll try and keep you guys, bring guys back throughout the course of the season to give any sort of updates. As much as you guys got to have your fantastic Facebook pages, but it's always good to have you both on. Even if some other people from AWSR want to come on and show their faces and let the people see who they are. But you guys are always welcome. So thanks very much for coming in. And
thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks for having us.
Everyone,
if anyone's at a track and they see us walking around, just walk up and ask us questions.
Absolutely.
Come and talk to us.
Yeah, so approachable. Cannot say that more. So approachable people. I will be putting the tag in AWSR into this post. So please, if you guys do want to look at jumping on to help them out with their Facebook or the subcommittees, anything like that, all the contact details are there. By all means, jump on, say hello to them, and do what you need to do. But time's almost up, guys, so I've got to shoot through. But thanks very much for joining us. Thanks, everyone at home. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you on the next one for Wild&Wingless. Take care.
No worries. Thank you.
See you later. Thank you.